Hello everyone, Niev here, and today I have a new deck. It is the Tarot for the Great Outdoors. I have already opened this. I've shuffled it a few times. I've looked through it, so it's not an unboxing. But before I get into this, I just want to say that I have very mixed feelings about this deck. I watched a few previews of this deck before I got it. I wanted to make sure that this was a deck that I actually really wanted. So I'll explain a little bit here before I actually start going into this. There are a few extra cards here. There's a pretty typical Celtic cross spread here. There's a quick guide to some keywords on for the different suits and the minor arcana court cards and numbered cards. So that's pretty cool. I like that. It's got a little white book, which is pretty good. Lots of information on each card here, and then a short paragraph for the minor arcana. Like the information here is really nice. So the star, keyword stargazing, contentment, fresh perspective, beware, downward spiral, wormholing, sweating the small stuff. I like that. That's an interesting negative aspect to the star that I hadn't thought of. Like maybe almost like a one-track mind or a downward spiral, wormholing. That's interesting keywords. I like that. And the images on this deck are absolutely stunning. Like stunning. The back is really pretty. So I'm going to chat a little bit while I go through this because I have very mixed feelings about this deck. I love that the major arcana, each one has the name of the national park that's on there. And there's one card in this deck that is the Joshua Tree National Park, which is actually where I'm from. I'm from 29 Palms, California, which is the town literally right next to Joshua Tree. So that was cool to see that. I obviously lived right by. I went to the monument all the time, the Joshua Tree National Park. And this deck is right up my alley in theme, in artwork. The artist on this was Sharice Staber. The author is J.Q. Gordon, and both of them did a fantastic job with this. It's really a very stunning deck, and I could not wait to get it in my collection. Now, I was watching a few unboxings of this and reviews just to get I want to really make sure that I want to bring this deck into my collection. I don't declutter things. Like, I don't declutter my decks. I don't go through and sell them or get rid of them. So even if I don't like a deck, I keep it in my collection. It's something that I've learned about myself over time. And because of that, I am very stringent about the decks that I do bring into my collection. So I really research the decks before I get them. Here we go, the Joshua Tree National Park. Like, this is straight up home for me here. This is where I came from. I like that card. Anyway, what it was, this was the star card. That was the one that I had opened it to. Funny. And so I went into this aware that the cardstock was not going to be great. And there was even a video that I saw where I thought the reviewer was maybe going a little overboard with their hatred of the cardstock. And I was like, no, it cannot be that bad. Really, I have lots of decks of cards that don't have the best cardstock. I wish they had better cardstock, but it's not that big of a deal. They're still totally usable. So I was like, okay, if it's a cardstock issue and it being poor quality, I'll probably still end up getting it. The only thing that would stop me from what would make me really reconsider getting a deck, cardstock wise, is if the reviewer was saying that it's extremely thick and stiff cardstock. And in that case, I'd probably really hesitate to get a deck because I really like shuffling and I have very small hands. So if a deck is too large, too thick, or too stiff, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be some serious usability issues with that. But a deck being too thin that's a review where I'm like, I think maybe I'll still end up getting it, especially if the images are as awesome as these. I love these images. And some of the cards will say things like LNT, I think is what it says, which means leave no trace. And that goes into, like, they go into what that indicates in the book here. It's kind of a leave no trace. The 7 principles of leave no trace listed below are outdoor stewardship practices meant to minimize human impact on the environment and protect it from for generations to come. Woven into the cards, these nationally recognized guidelines are not only important to remember when you hit the trail, but can be applied to your everyday life as well. Look for the LNT signposts in the Minor Arcana for an extra dose of outdoor wisdom. So plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly, leave what you find, minimize campfire impacts, respect wildlife, be considerate of other visitors. What a great addition to this tarot deck. And I like that. But now that I have this deck in, I feel like I should apologize to that one reviewer that I thought was really going overboard on their hatred of the cardstock, because I will just say there's still more that I got to go through, but this cardstock is fucking terrible. like I'm sorry that I'm cursing here, but I was kind of like, and I was coming into this knowing that the cardstock was not going to be very good. And I was still going to get it. And so I was coming in prepared for that. And I still thought that one reviewer was being totally over the top about it. Like, it can't be that bad. It is that bad. It is definitely that bad. This cardstock is like goddamn paper. Like, this is not cardstock. This is super thin. Like, it's almost printer paper. Like, not quite, that's exaggerating a little bit. But this is paper. Like, it is so flimsy. I could easily, very easily accidentally tear one of these cards or bend them. Does it shuffle well? Kinda. But because there's absolutely no core or anything in this, it's super flimsy, and it bends like this and sticks like this with just a little bit of shuffling. And it's a huge bummer to me because I really, really like this deck. I love the concept of it. I love the conservationalist, environmentalist, nature-oriented, outdoorsy activities vibe to this. The national parks as all of the major arcana. I love the concept of this deck. I love the artwork. It's absolutely stunning. Charisse Steber did an amazing job on that. The guidebook is very comprehensive, so way to go, JQ Gordon. I feel like the publishing company really did these two creators wrong here, because this is shit cardstock. And it makes me so mad. So what am I going to do about that? Because obviously I'm not going to get rid of the deck. And it wasn't expensive. This is a mass market deck. And it's on the lower end as far as price goes. It's like $21, something like that. So not bad at all. So in a way, I feel a little bad complaining about it. But $21 is still $21. And I was expecting bad cardstock. But this really is crappy cardstock. And yeah, so I'm just getting near the end here. Ooh, I like that, Death Valley. That was near where I grew up too. That's beautiful, actually. Like, the artwork in this is just stunning, and there's so many ways that I would use this deck, and I do plan on using it this month even. But the next couple months, I really like. This is a good summer deck too, so I feel like I might end up using it in July, June or July. All right, so like here we have the whole pile here, and I can easily bend this whole thing, like super easily. As far as shuffling, because there's like no core to this at all, it just like flops around. Can I shuffle? Yes. But it's like, I almost bent this top card doing that bridge there. Like, I'm just worried about, the longevity of this deck. And I'm going to shuffle it the other way to try to get this bend out. And like, shuffling this is like shuffling a pile of printer paper. I would say the thickness of this is maybe 3 sheets of printer paper. That's like the thickness of this cardstock. 3 sheets of printer paper. And it bends in the same way. If you glued 3 sheets of printer paper together, and try to imagine shuffling with that. Once you get it laser cut out so it's perfect and even and all that, shuffling with that. And that is the thickness of this deck. So, yeah, so this is not a glowing review of this deck. I'm going to keep it. Like, again, I love the concept of this. I love the artwork is fantastic. But the cardstock really knocks this down. This would be a 5-star deck in my collection if the cardstock was even mildly better. So what am I going to do? I think, let's see, maybe I'll try, sorry, I had to cough there. Maybe I'll try eventually getting like a laminator or something and laminating this deck. Yeah, I'm putting it like this because I'm going to start doing some mixing with some Oracle decks here. But I will say the box quality is fantastic. I wish they put, instead of doing this great quality 2-piece box, putting the money into that, I would have much rather had just a simple tuck box and the actual money being put in the cardstock, because it frustrates me because I love this deck. It's just, all right, so I'm going to do some pairing here because, you know, this is I still plan on using this. And if the laminating thing doesn't work, or I really screw it up or something, maybe I'll make sure to scan every card to have a backup copy of it, and maybe have it printed just for me on some better cardstock. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what I want to do or not. I'm just bummed by it. All right, so I've pulled out the Hedge Witches Oracle here. It seemed like a pretty good no-brainer deck to pair with this. Very nature-themed, and I do really like this. This looks really nice. I'm just going to go ahead and put these over here. Wow, look at that. The Devil and the Hermit with clarity in the center. And then we can pull out some of the colors from the different cards here. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, I really like the way these are looking together. This deck pairs so well with a lot of different decks. A caution between the 8 of Vessels and the Hierophant. All right. I would I would say, like, if I did this reading, I would read this as taking caution to not go off on your own way here, and leaving behind some wise words, like leaving behind the guide and what you're supposed to be doing and going off on your own. In this particular instance, I would say there's some caution warranted here. That's one way I might read that. Ooh, and look at all the blues being pulled out with this one. Yeah, this deck looks great with this. I'm going to do one more. Let's see how we like this. Strength in between the 4 of blades and the 3 of sticks, which is swords and wands here. So interesting. All right, so that's that one. That's a Hedge Witch's Oracle. Let's try another deck. So most of the decks I pulled out are nature themed. This one is a combination of 2 decks here. This is, and it's just in this loose bag here. Eventually I should make a bag for these decks. These are the Druidcraft Plant and the Druidcraft Animal oracles. So I'll just go with this green one here. This one I think is the animals, which could look good. Let's put this in the middle real quick. Oh gosh. Yeah, that could look good, but I feel like the plant one might look better. Oh geez, I have this all messed up. All right. And yeah, this cardstock is so bad. Ugh. But I like with this one all the white that we're seeing here and almost this flowy energy that we see here along with the water here and the ice blades here. So, or, you know, yeah. So I don't know, maybe the animal one would work with this. That one seems very connected to this one here, but I want to try the plant one here. Let's see. Let's do the plant. I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like the plant ones might look better with this. Ooh, there were other decks that I had that might look good with this too, but I didn't think about it. I was thinking about the illustrated bestiary and the illustrated herbiary. Those might look good too. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. I don't love this as much as I did the herb crafters. The, oh God, what is the name of that? The Hedge Witch's Oracle. For some reason, I always call that one the Herb Crafters Oracle, even though the Herb Crafters is a completely different deck. So here's another little like nature themed deck. This was the Forest Fae by Nadia Turner, and it's a very small deck. So I'm going to bring these in a bit. See how I like this. That's pretty cool. I kind of like the idea of this. Oh God, the difference in thickness between this deck and this is just insane. Like this is like, wow. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Spiny Sister with the beaver right here. That's kind of interesting. Walker on the Wind. That's cool. I actually do kind of like that. That's pretty neat. Ooh, look at that. Okay, yeah, this was like a last minute grab out of my ritual room before I came out here to do this video, and I think it was a good pick. Kind of wish I remembered to grab the illustrated herbiary deck because I feel like that would look good with this as well, but oh well. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, here's another nature one. One more nature one, and then I'll go through the ones that aren't nature-y, which are, I've only got 2 here outside of this one. So this is the Seed and Sickle, and I keep the deck and both of the books in this bag that I made for it, and I made this bag to match this deck and the Pacific Northwest Tarot, because I use those two decks together. So anyway, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so the light is shifting in here. I'm right in front of a big window, so light's shifting around here. Hopefully that's fine. Okay, so so this could be good. I think I liked the idea of this more than the actuality. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't think this doesn't work for me. I'm not liking this at all. I'm not even gonna keep going. I don't like this one with this. So yeah. All right, and so now let me try some of the non nature decks here that I want to try to pair with this. First, I have the Shinwa Oracle, which is a Japanese themed deck. And so because this is in Japanese, I'm going to be looking purely at aesthetics here instead of the keywords, because I would have to look up these keywords. I've been learning Japanese for about a year now, but I'm still not proficient at it. It's only 1 year of language study. I'm just going to put these back underneath here. There we go. So it's a little more even now. All right. So, but this deck seems to go pretty well with a lot of my other decks. It's my favorite of my Japanese decks with pairing. I don't know why, but there's something about this. Like, look at that with some nature decks here. I feel like this might be a little bit better with that one. But it would fall how they fall. But yeah, yeah, I like the way this looks. For some reason, the Shinwa Oracle just goes really, really well with a lot of different decks. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. I quite like that. Yeah, I actually like this quite a bit. Again, the differences between the cardstocks. This is quite thick, but it's also still very bendy, so I can shuffle this deck fairly well. So it doesn't need to be really, really thick, the cardstock. I am a fan of thinner cardstock, but it has to be done well. And this was not done well. And that's what's so frustrating about this. Ooh, that's cool, because this it feels like this girl right here. That's really neat. I like that. And then one more with this. I want to see. That one's kind of cool. So this one's a little hit or miss, but I do like it. And the Shinwa Oracle just goes really well with a lot of different decks. It's my favorite Japanese deck to pair that I have. All right. So the other I'm just putting this deck away. The other nature deck that I have is one that I just kind of want to give a shot with this. I want to give this one a shot. And that is the This Might Help Oracle. And of course, it's meant to go with the This Might Hurt Tarot. But I want to find different ways to use this deck because I haven't really been enjoying this deck. And so we could pair it with another deck that I'm angry with. And I just got this deck in, and yet I'm angry with it. But I'm angry at the publisher. I'm not angry at the artist or the author. In fact, I feel upset for them that the quality of their deck is so subpar when their artwork is fantastic and the writing is great. Yeah. Well, this looks pretty good. So maybe if I pair two decks that I'm kind of mad at, maybe that'll work. But this is kind of cool, actually. I kind of like this. Oh, we've got the blindfold with the Two of Blades here, which would normally, because there's a level of trust involved in the typical RWS imagery for this, the person is blindfolded. But this is a level of trust. It's trusting our own abilities here. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the Nine of Blades over here, which is anxiety. So there's anxiety about this and not really being able to handle this, but it's really focusing on the blindfold aspect to kind of trust yourself. Like there's anxiety about it, but we've got to have trust that we know the right way to go. So yeah, actually that worked pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. I think I found how I might want to use this deck. It's pairing really well with this, actually. Yeah. The 12-star crown. I'd have to look that up. 12-star crown. What's the number 3? I just want to see this. So it's connected with the Empress. And then we have the 6 of Stones and the 7 of Blades. Interesting. As a clarifier, the 12-star crown may fall on a card to delineate that something is happening as part of one big cycle. Something's happening as part of one big cycle. And we've got the 6 of Stones, so that's the 6 of Pentacles. And we have the 7 of Blades. Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, it's certainly food for thought. I'm actually pretty happy with this. um, I think this worked out pretty well. So, all right. So that is enough pairing for now. Like I said, I also kind of wish I grabbed my illustrated herbiary because I feel like that would have looked good with this too. Let's go put these right here. So let me see. I want to shuffle this a little bit as best as I can because, like I said, it's like shuffling. The cards are like, they're so thin, and I feel like I'm going to bend these, like crease them really, really easily. And that makes me nervous, and I'm just kind of upset with the production quality. And I think it's because this company who did this deck, on Amazon, it said something like Mountain something, but on the box here, it says Skipstone. Skipstone is a publishing company. Neither one of those companies are known for making tarot decks or card decks and things like that. So I think that's why that there wasn't enough care put into this deck. I think they were just trying to make. They saw that there's a tarot market out there. They hired some artists and an author to write a book, and didn't think to put much money into the production of the cards themselves. I think that's what happened, and why these are so thin. Like they are, like, again, like 3 sheets of printer paper glued together. That's what it feels like. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna pull a little one card. I'm gonna pull one card to see how this deck is going to work with me here. And I like the deck. I love the deck. It would be a 5-star deck for me if the cardstock was even mildly better, but it's just so disappointing. All right, here we go. We have the Queen of Vessels. Have compassion for this deck. And I do have compassion for this deck, and I have compassion for the creators. I just wish the publishing company had put time and effort into the production of this deck. That's really my beef with this. So yeah, but have some compassion toward it, and I will take that to heart, and I will pursue a relationship with this deck with compassion. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.